Hello, and welcome to Season 2 of Super Pros Bros. I'm Player 2, Eli, and with me as always is...
Player 1, Ike, and Marco Brolo. Did you know that this pod is on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify?
I did not potato chip. Are those the same places that they could?
Like,
comment,
sure,
and subscribe?
it sure is.
Now what do you know about that?
I know that I was about to call Spotify spoofy.
You have a spoofy?
I think I find it on spoofy. I'm sure you could, Father, if there were such a thing.
For those of you who indulge in Game Grumps, you might get that reference.
For those of you who don't, you should indulge in Game Grumps.
Game Grumps,
so you might get that reference. I apologize in advance for any coughing and tonal oddities you're experiencing. I am rather under the weather. Hopefully not sick. Hopefully just recovering from teaching and yelling at children to shut up and sit down.
Excellent.
A-tier content.
I don't have a great follow-up on that one, but it sounds like that's what's been going on with your life recently, sickness and children.
Yeah. I mean, that and fighting off the alien invaders that came to our planet on, New Year's Day 2023, just 6 days ago. I mean, had to
of course, everyone had to coalition up.
Yeah, we gave it our all, but we got rid of them, damn it. Sent them packing back to Neptune. Where they belong.
Damn small purple Neptunians.
Neptunian sons of bitches. They thought they were better than us. Nobody's better than us. America. And other sundry countries.
Pretty soon we're going to be Earthicans.
Yeah. Earthica. Ugh.
I was going for the Futurama reference, but wasted. All right.
Yeah, sorry. I haven't seen all the episodes multiple times, such as a
some
high-standing gentleman as yourself. Yeah.
I'm still tentatively optimistic for them to make more.
Yeah. So what, random aside, what is going on with that?
As far as I know, it's in production.
Okay. But they didn't get...
No, they got it.
Oh, they did. Okay, good.
Yeah. That's why I'm tentatively optimistic. If they didn't, I'd be like, well, it's fucked.
Just do that, do that Simpsons meme.
It's boned.
Yeah, just old man walks into building. No Bender walks out of building.
Exactly.
Bye.
Where Bender?
No
Bender,
would not
be...
no me. Yeah.
Yeah, if they tried to do it without DiMaggio as Bender, it'd just be like, wow, this is a pale imitation.
Yeah.
Go next.
Absolutely. So, other than me being sick and finally getting some respite from these damn dirty... what's a D word for kids? Whatever. Damn dirty children. I guess what's
that's
yeah, there we go. Maniacal, mischievous miscreants. What have you been going on? I don't know. I've been doing up to too much other than fighting the alien invasion. They kind of took it all out of me, to be honest.
Yeah, so we got a lesser version up north, so I got to actually go spend some time just bucking off in Seattle, which is kind of cool. Did a little staycation the other week because a lot of the legal stuff is finally out of our hands. So
nice.
Artemis wanted to go decompress, so we just hung out in a pretty shitty hotel.
Just decompressed all over the place.
It was like a hipster hotel that we went to. It was garbage. It was absolutely trash.
There's no such thing as door handles.
It was like
you're awake. There's no room service. There's just a chicken that'll come lay an egg somewhere in the room. You'll get awakened by a rooster just in your toilet.
It was nice, but I don't know. It was not a great hotel. It was fun to look back and kind of shit talk. But we had fun. We did a little shopping. We went to a museum so that she could see a Black Hawk, an F-31 Black Hawk. I think I'm using the right letters. Which is her favorite plane ever.
Why is that her favorite plane?
I don't know. It just is.
It just is, man.
She lost her mind when she saw it.
Awesome. That's so adorable. Yeah.
Yeah. It is also the X-Men plane, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So some through lines are appearing.
Oh, she liked it well before X-Men. It's been her
Okay.
favorite plane forever.
Oh, okay.
Basically, we went there, stayed at a hotel, and on our way out of Seattle, hit an escape room, which was a shit ton of fun.
How many times have you done escape rooms?
Twice.
Big fan?
I'm 2 for 2, nailing it, crushing it. The place we went was really cool because they had a lot of prop usage, and it was dope. Like,
That's rad.
it was a prison escape, and we started like in cells that were locked, so we had to like throw stuff between each other. Like I was basically across a small hallway from her, so
Mhm.
like we had to literally toss stuff between the cells to solve puzzles, and like it seemed so small, except you unscrewed the toilet from the wall, and it like led to a kind of back hallway that you had to do puzzles in, and you got out, and there was like a little guard tower that we didn't know was there that we had to do puzzles in to get out. Like it
That's
was
cool.
way more involved than we thought it would be, which is super dope.
That aside, definitely the whitest activity. I'm gonna say that right now. Escape rooms are definitely the whitest activity. There's like very much a
Absolutely.
white person. Like
Stupendous.
it's up there with ride-alongs. It's like white people being like, "What can I experience that I will never have the opportunity
Hey,
to do?"
the reality is like it's not about like it's
No,
literally
it's
just
not.
like here we want to make puzzles.
Hmm.
Like that's all it
But
is.
but putting it in a thing where you have to escape because it's not a thing that white people ever have to worry about actually dealing with. Like there's no like PTSD crossover of like, oh no, I'm locked in a thing. That's not a traditionally white people problem. So to just like do it for fun, it's just like such like
Like
that was created by a white. That's like
I hear what you're saying. I
Yeah.
think you are reading way too much into shit.
Yeah, I'm having fun reading too much into shit.
Like,
Speaking of reading too much into shit, do we want to start with our main segment or
let's get into
our
it.
lovely bit?
No, we can end that but we're gonna talk about critics and kind of perception and reception between critics and fans. Because if you ever go on Rotten Tomatoes, you can find some wildly polarizing films.
Yeah, very disparate percentages.
Yeah, where critics absolutely adore it and audience is like, well, this fucking sucked. Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Audiences love it and critics go, bad. And so we have come to a bit of conclusion that both are equally stupid and smart. And there is value to opinions both for critical reviews and for audience perception. And the kind of groupthink, quote unquote, that will come about as a result. So we're gonna start with why we believe the audience is wrong, and why critics have value because the audience needs help from themselves. They need to be saved from themselves. And the first point is that people are magpies. They love things that are shiny. Yeah, we are drawn to flashing bright lights. We start to see blue and orange contrast, and we can't fucking help ourselves and look away.
Fact.
We are absolutely magnetized to visual spectacle, oftentimes even if it is attached to absolute schlock. But we could just let the neurons in our brain fire away, go full monkey, clap our hands, and just... Thoughts?
I don't think that's necessarily like, so I'm going to be playing devil's advocate for a lot of this, partially because I'm under the weather and thinking's not my strongest suit. So that's why I'm going to give my opinion aggressively.
Hit me with it.
So I think, yes, people do like shiny things, but I don't know that that's necessarily bad. I think there's a lot of these that we're going to be on our high horse, and I think that's fine and well and good, but at the same time, it is good to remember and realize that, like, at the end of the day, all of this is entertainment, and so what one person finds entertaining and what another person finds entertaining is going to be different. Yeah, so I think that's fine to be, attracted by shinies. I think when we were talking about this beforehand, you were bringing up, like, Battleship and Transformers, which I do not like, very much not my cup of tea. However, in taking on this new position in teaching, I found myself constantly overwhelmed and starting to really understand the people that worked aggressive 9-to-5s that left them wiped out, and that they just wanted something to just play in front of them with shiny bright lights and kind of just help them relax, chill, and just like fill their empty head with something, whether it be giggles, sadness, action, whatever. And I think that really is like what this is at the end of the day. It's just like, ooh, look at the shiny lights. It's like, to say that we're magpies with any kind of derisive, thought to it, I think is just to look past who we are deep down. I think it's just that the shiny changes depending upon intrigue and personality. Like, I think the shiny for us is more, a story complexity or a twist and a turn.
That is not what I mean. I do not. I mean literal, like, visual spectacle.
I understand. I understand. But I think for some people, that is their shiny, and I think it just changes. I think because the shiny is what effectively draws people into the movie. And I agree that it's a visual aesthetic, but for some people, the end goal is also a visual aesthetic. And so, like, when we see a movie trailer, we're not necessarily looking for the action beats, although occasionally some can pop and just draw us in. But a lot of the time, we're looking for craft. We're looking for, a strong story. And I think where ours are a little less...
That's not a shiny.
I think the hints of it are, but...
I could not disagree harder. And there's a very specific reason you sound delightful, by the way.
Thank you.
Because that's like comparing fireworks to good woodworking. They are not the same. Like, they have certain appeals to them. I should have picked something that was less visual than woodworking. But
I was gonna say.
But when I say people are magpies and drawn by shiny, I am exclusively talking about the visual.
I understand.
Up in your face.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with storytelling. I
know it doesn't have anything to do with storytelling, but I'm saying what draws people in entertainment are different things. And so what draws us, the way I'm looking at it is I'm taking the shiny and like using it as a stand-in for they're seeing shiny objects and what those mean to them. Because what they're looking for in a movie is bing, bang, boom, bong. And that's what that shiny is for them. It's that action piece. It's that, like, the color palette that denotes this is an action movie, this is a comedy movie, and it's like an allure of promise. And the way I see it for us is that our allure of promise is like really start story writing, really strong dialogue, and that's something that you're more going to see in a trailer as opposed to a poster.
Can't see a script.
No, but like you can see in a scene. Like, just for a lot of these shinies, are you literally talking about only the poster, or are you talking about the trailer too?
I'm literally talking about redonkulous, over-the-top visual spectacle for the entire sake of it being visual spectacle to make people stop and go, ooh, ah. You are giving this way more credence than it actually has. I'm talking like Michael Bay syndrome.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but the way I'm looking at it is that's what they want. That is denoting what they are looking for in a piece of media. Like, it's not just that they're going to go see that thing that they've already seen. It's that they're going to go see that thing that they've already seen and other things that are going to be like it. And that's what they want out of their media. And I think that's the same thing is true for us, just in a different venue. Like, what we're looking for is a good story. And, like, we see that by, like, the way the trailer is scripted and, like, set up and ordered and what we believe it's going to belie.
You're fucking killing me. Like, you're conflating this with an entirely different, like, principle. Like, I'm not. This is, and the reason I say
for sake of length, I'll concede that you're right. I don't know that I agree with you. I'm also kind of out of it.
I'm gonna add the big fucking asterisk. Is that the reason I hate this, and the reason I will say that audiences are wrong about this, is because too often the things that wow you in with just the big redonkulous visual spectacles are coupled with schlock storytelling, riddled with plot holes, and just cater to the kind of, I don't want to say lowest common denominator, but like it feels soulless. Like it does not feel like an attempt to be artwork. It just feels like a cash grab.
All right, so a couple things. One, art is in the eye of the beholder, so I think art is different from person to person.
Sure.
Two, I think that some people, that's all they want. So if they're getting... I think the biggest thing for me on entertainment and like critic score and audience score is are you getting what you want, which is going to come very much is going to be a very much bane for critics. Is that I think they miss that, but that's for a different subject heading. I think when it comes to movies, especially or TV shows, like, are you getting what you came for? You know, you're effectively buying a ticket for a virtual ride through this thing.
Sure.
Is it what you want it to be? And I think for some people, it's just shit exploding and they don't really care about the story. I think caring about the story gets me more than not, but for some other people, they might either not have the bandwidth or the give a shit to obtain the bandwidth to understand a story, in which case they're getting what they want by shit going boom. And to look at $200 million of ticket sales is to erase that idea that what they value has any amount of, in quote, correctness. And I think to like belittle them for enjoying something that just exploded is a little bit like $200 million. I agree that, you know, if there are better options, they might watch them. But at the same time, $200 million means that there's a likely chance that this is exactly what a lot of people wanted.
So I'm gonna die on the hill that Battleship is a terrible movie, and shouldn't have ever been invented. And I'm gonna conveniently move to the next point because I think we're gonna go back and forth on this forever.
Yeah,
and that I think there are too many people who are drawn in and kind of stan for specific actors. Like, they can do no fucking wrong. Like, Ryan Reynolds is a god.
Yep.
You know, shit like that. Like, for example, what was it called? Like Red Note?
Red Notice. Yeah.
Red Notice, thank you. That movie is stupid. It's like a heist movie written by a chimpanzee.
Stupid with two O's.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
However, people watched it and liked it because of its cast, because it is fucking Gal Gadot, The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds. Of course you're gonna like it. It's impossible to not love these people.
Mm-hmm.
The movie itself is dumb. It's like they hit the writers in the head with a rock, and their rationale for things working out is because. Like, I've never so much agreed with a pitch meeting. Like, I just love that show on YouTube, for the record. It's hilarious. But never have I just, like, so wholeheartedly agreed, because so much of it is just explained away with because, and that works. But
this one I do think is a little, that you are a lot more correct on than the last one, because it is very much just like, it is, and I think the companies do clearly know this, it is just lure. It is
is bait as bait.
It is the bait equivalent of why people go shopping at Walmart. It's that, oh, they're in this, therefore it must be good. You know, oh, you know, it's Walmart or it's whatever chain thing, it must be tested, which just a bit like there is
people go to Walmart for quality anymore, buddy.
No, but it's trust over like random mom and pop shop. You know,
Sure.
Okay, it's going through, you know, it was made by them, there must be standards, which there aren't. But, you know, it's just that idea, which I think is a false notion. I understand why people go to it. And the idea of like safety and trust, especially when, you know, for some people, this is more of an idea of back in the day than now. But that idea of like date night, you know, you only have, you know, married couple only has one night a week where they can have time together to go see a movie. They want to see something they haven't had time to like spool through. This is again why Rotten Tomatoes is such a great resource, is they can go and see reviews over like a lot of people, and kind of, you know, which creates this crucible to output useful data. So I think that idea doesn't exist as much anymore, but definitely back in the day I understand why people did that. Now that there's so many reviewers and you can collate it and you can begin watching a movie on Netflix, decide it sucks, and change lanes, I think this is like a lot less of a necessity that needs to exist for people.
Yeah, it is still absolutely prevalent. Like it's
100% prevalent, but I'm saying like where it came from makes sense. It's one of those things. It's like that genetic coding of the fight or flight mentality doesn't need to really exist in humans anymore. Not to the degree that it does. There's a lot of responses that human beings have that are fight or flight. And it's like, yeah, we're not worried about saber-tooth tigers anymore. We don't need to have that kick in, but we still do. This is something that people can change and be a little bit more cognizant of, that they have, especially if they're like early millennials or older, like Gen Xers, that I know will do this, our parents. And it's like, yeah, that's not a good rubric to go by anymore. It used to be. I understand why people used to do it. Like, you're going to, in your newspaper, there's going to be at best one review that you're going to read about a movie. And depending upon that person's preference, you might get misled. But if every single movie you've seen with Marlon Brando has been fucking juice, then yeah, why not go see him as a Chinaman? And there's a movie where he is a fucking Chinese guy with a horrific accent.
Oh, yeah, it hurts just the sound of that.
Whitewashing.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, just if I see the name Bryan Cranston and something, I'm like, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Yes, tell me more.
Exactly. But and that's where that's fine. But the problem is a lot of people go, oh, this person, oh, Kevin Hart's in it. I'm going to go see it.
You overly defend it because on principle, it's like, I love, I'm so disappointed in myself. He's like half the voices in Futurama.
Billy West?
Thank you. It's coming. My brain went Fry. Stephen Fry. And I'm like, that fucking ain't it. I love Billy West. I love Futurama with a passion. And I think Billy West is a phenomenal voice actor. It's like maybe one of the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
However, his fucking project with I think it was Matt Groening, Disenchantment.
Fuck that show.
It sucks.
It's so bad.
It's bad. It's not good. Like, I watched the first season and wanted it to be redeemable. Its voice acting is good. Like, it's got him, it's got DiMaggio in it, and it's terrible. Yeah, it's just shit.
I watched one episode and I was like, damn it. And then it's like, did I go back?
Artemis and I forced a whole season because we like these people. I like this. No, I don't. It hurts. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not a fan. Would not recommend. Yeah. If you enjoy it, God bless you. That's why there's a second and third season. But
but don't overly defend shit because people. They deserve criticism as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, bad work is bad work. Yeah. All right. The other thing I think the audience...
Use them as a lighthouse and not a monolith.
Yes. The last thing I think audiences are terribly wrong about, terribly, damn you, is that oftentimes story is undervalued for the sheer sake of entertainment. This kind of plays back into the people are magpies, but too often people are willing to just gladly overlook massive plot holes or like stupid story beats or stupid idiot plots to just be like, but it needs to happen so the movie can happen. And like oftentimes there are very easy workarounds that like I believe deserve criticism, and it's just kind of too often ignored. And I feel like there is kind of a threshold for like where movies start to become bad if it's just fucking bumbling incoherence. And too often I think people are willing to just kind of go, fuck it.
All right. Hold on. Let me see if I can crack some more knuckles before I get all yes and on you. I don't know if that came up on the read. Whatever. So, you are right and you are wrong. And here's why.
All right, arbiter.
So, I agree that in a lot of what we and a lot of critics would consider schlocky movies, the story could be written better. I absolutely agree, and I think the argument for why it isn't written better generally is pretty weak and or doesn't exist. That is unequivocal. However,
here comes Isaac with the truth, folks.
That's not why they came to the movie. It is secondary. It doesn't matter, and to them, they got all that they wanted. I think the biggest thing for me, especially when it comes to audiences and just some of the critic ratings where they like go too far down the hammer route, is that entertainment is about by and large, getting what you paid for, getting what you want.
Sure.
And so for a lot of people that, that Transformers movie, that like the plot is whatever, they didn't come for the plot, so they got what they wanted. So for them to rate it as a strong rating, I think is well within their purview, because how do you, if you go out to a restaurant, if your reason for going to McDonald's is I wanted fries that were covered in oil and salt, I wanted a burger for what used to be $1 that, was warm, had this, great I can't say words. I'm not going to try. Had this great flavor to it that I, remember as a kid. I wanted an apple pie for $1. I wanted, a milkshake, sort of, and you wanted that all for $10 and you got it. Like, who were they to not rate that as a 5? They got everything they wanted, at the price they wanted, like, why shouldn't that be, why shouldn't that be a 5 to them? I agree that for us it's not a 5, and I think it's fair for us to rate it that way, but for us to look down our, glasses, as we were both four eyes, and glare at them and kind of give them this look of derision of being like, oh, you poor idiot, you don't get the good things in life. It's like, no, they got all the things they wanted out of this.
So here's gonna be my stipulation to this, or like my response to this.
Okay.
Is that too often becomes an accepted commonplace. There is
I'm just saying that for the audience's score. I'm not saying that for the creators, for the record. The creators do need to do better, but that we're talking about the audience's score specifically. Mm-hmm. So I think that the audience's score is valid. I think when people talk about criticism and they go, oh, like, well, all these people like it. It's like, yeah, they would also like it if you made it a better story and still had all the explosions. They came here for the explosions and they are very valid in doing that, and you did a good job of putting that in your movie. However, your story doesn't also need to suck. They would have enjoyed it as much or more, and they don't know that, if the story had been better, because that's not what they came there for.
Yeah, I guess my big caveat is that, like, there is never an expectation of it to ever get better. There's just the kind of constant, like, audience will just constantly give a positive review to something that, like, it works, and I understand why people like Michael Bay gets to make print money because his shit works, and because people go, brr, big things go boom, and they shell out money for it. And it's like, there's never, like, at no point, it feels that audience and society it's just getting way too fucking meta and philosophical. Like, don't seem to expect better or go, we've seen this a bunch. Can we get more with this? Like, there's never kind of a want to ask for more, which I guess I understand. And as you've said, like, there's people who just, they don't have the fucking mental capacity to care. Like, they're spent. Shit's going on. Yeah. Life is hard. Life is stressful.
Yeah, they don't need. They're
Everyone
fine
who's lived
watching
through the last decade understands.
Yeah. The Fuck Moms of Atlanta season 27. Like, that's what they wanted, and that's what they got.
Reality shows and soaps exist for a reason. There is a market for them. They're not profitable. That's not how those shows work.
And they aren't, in quotes, bad. They're just somewhere between not for you.
I'd argue some are bad.
I think all art has a home. I think plenty of art could be better. There's this idea, I think I've talked about on here, of there's no such thing as a movie that's done. There's just a movie that's due. So, like, I think art can always improve regardless of, like, the final form. I think even if you talk to people that have made the perfect movie, like, if you talk to Bong Joon-ho about Parasite, I think he would, like, but right before he turned it in, I'm sure he would have loved another week to tune it. I don't think he was done before expectation.
I'm not saying that there is a perfect pinnacle or anything. I'm saying that there is some stuff that gets consumed that I think the world would be better off without.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I'm going to keep us going. We got more of these to go.
Yeah, we have a lot more to go.
Where the audience is right, though, and as you've hit on a number of times and counterpoints, that movies absolutely need to be entertaining.
Yeah.
One of the greatest critic baits ever is the movie Lost in Translation. It is fucking unwatchable. I was bored to fucking tears, and I love Bill Murray, and it was agonizing to sit through.
I mean, I disagree, but I can see your point, and I think for you, that is, thumbs down. I think that's very valid. Every movie, because entertaining is different to different people, right? There are movies, there are people that like watching paint dry, metaphorically, and possibly literally.
Probably literally.
Yeah. I mean, there's a movie that, who's the famous artist from the 80s who was, like, really fucking weird?
Andy Warhol?
Yes, thank you. Wow, I'm glad. Wow. We should have been twins. Andy Warhol made a movie that is 8 hours long, and it is footage, just a still camera recording the Empire State Building for 8 hours. The idea was that, just because I put it out doesn't make it art. And he's kind of like being meta and fucking with his audience, except that a lot of them were like, holy shit, this is the best thing I've ever seen, and gladly watch it, and they think it's dope. So, like, they're not wrong.
That's people.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if they enjoy it, if they, like, who are we to say, like, what is and what isn't art to somebody? If they find looking at the Empire State Building for 8 hours entertaining, God bless them,
Sure. But I guarantee that I can hit you with, or we can go digging through and find absolute critic baits that we would look at it and go, this is not an entertaining film.
Yeah,
This is not
to
enjoyable.
us, we do not enjoy it. And I think that is where like the validity lies. Is it's like for each person that saw it, it's going to be individually different, just because that's that's the
But
way it works.
I think that's one of the big discrepancies where you start looking at Rotten Tomatoes, and usually like a 60% score discrepancy between critics and audience, is because I think in many ways where the audience goes in, and as you pointed out, they go in, they want what they want. They saw the fucking trailer, they're in for a fucking action movie. They're in to watch blood, guts, and tits all over the screen.
Yeah.
But the critic walks in with a fucking notepad and is just looking to like. It's looking to do homework.
We're going to end up getting into a different thing that we're going to hit the critics on, so I don't think.
Yeah. But my point is, and I'll put it right back to the audience, is that they're looking for the entertainment value.
Yeah.
And I think that you've got fucking nerd colon over here being a bit more critical than I should be necessarily, and being a scrupulous asshole. But fundamentally, you like the fundamental flaw of any game, of any movie, is if you're boring.
Yeah.
Like, if that is the cardinal sin. You cannot be boring.
But I
need
think
to keep me engaged.
Yeah, but I think engagement is different from person to person. That's my only kind of like quibble here, is that I agree that it needs to be entertaining, but entertaining differs from person to person.
Sure, but there are certain things I'd say are staples. Like, what movie is...
I think there's staples at a percentage interval, not at a definitive interval, if that makes sense.
Everything is subject to interpretation. But I think there's things you could hit 90%, and if you can hit fucking 90%, it's probably a good enough rule to follow.
Sure. Okay.
But like,
I'm willing to accept that.
Like, exposition dubs are almost never good, and just doing tremendously long scenes of static character dialogue is very seldom super entertaining. Now, granted, you can have people like fucking Robin Williams, and they just chew the shit out of it, and it's entertaining.
Or you can have directors like David Fincher who just know how to shoot the scene correctly so that it's dynamic.
Yeah, but then how many examples can you think of just like dialogue in movies that are boring as shit?
Yeah, it's absolutely. I think the way you're couching it is correct, that like for a lot of people this is going to be not entertaining, and I do agree that like at the end of the day it needs to be entertaining, but also I think something to be especially when it goes to critics but also audiences, is that like, are you seeing the right movie? Because there are movies out there that are good that just aren't for you, and that's not a bad thing.
No,
the way I look at it, for me, and I've talked about it in my whole entire life, is there are hamburgers and there is sushi. I want to like sushi, I just don't like sushi. I love fucking hamburgers. So for me, there are movies that are sushi, and it's just like, yeah, I didn't like it, but also it's not something that I was ever going to like. So is that the movie's fault, or is that my fault?
No, and that's absolutely fair. But it is one of those things where people who are generally going to go to see the movie that they want to see, especially like in theaters and shit, like, it's probably more marketed to them. And if you're hitting that huge swath of people where they're finding it boring, you done fucked up.
Yeah.
And like, it does need to fundamentally
it is
be
when they are a fan of that franchise, of that style, and they're bored, yeah, you fucked up. And I do think that is a fair criticism, that like, especially depending upon the type, but just generally speaking, it is entertainment. It should be entertaining.
Yeah, but like, first and foremost, it needs to be entertaining. Like, there are too many directors that are fucking up their own ass with craftsmanship that they make unentertaining movies. Like, they are not engaging.
Yeah.
It's like, alright, it looks really cool, and from a technical perspective, it's very good, but your audience is fucking bored to tears. Unacceptable.
My understanding is that was like Tenet. Sounds like what you're describing.
Yeah. Another thing I think the audience does very, very right is that they don't want to have to put too much stock into stuff that is abstract. They don't want to have to overthink. There are, I think, a really, 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 really good example of towing this line correctly was Perfect Blue that I watched a couple months ago, where like, it fucks with your brain for a while, but it pulls it together at the end. And like, there's certain things you can go back in and reanalyze and look over and be like, oh, and like get appreciation for little details. But I don't leave fucking confused.
Yeah.
I don't leave feeling like I need to do homework to understand it. Like, exactly. It had a very good twist. Full stop.
The way I talk about movies is that it needs to work. If it's going to have that much back end, and that much like, oh, holy shit, there's other stuff. It needs to work in two directions. First and foremost, like we were saying, when it comes to being entertaining, it needs to work as a film. You need to be told a story or entertained in some way that you leave feeling satisfied in that regard. And then, if you want to do the other part, you can, but I think you are doing yourself, the art form, and your audience a disservice if you put the back end, the kind of rewatchability first before the entertainment. For instance, ages ago, I think it was like 2000, I think this is like January 2017, I went to Louisville, Kentucky to play a Magic tournament, ended up staying at this guy's house that straight up looked like the kind of Tyler Durden Fight Club setup of just like this squatter's house. Like there was no ceiling in between the building and the roof. It was like fucking gutted. It looked whack. But I got to stay there for free. The guy was cool. Took me some cool places to eat. On the last I was there, he had some friends over and they were watching a movie literally on a blanket against the wall via like somebody's like tiny projector. And it was this really weird art house B-movie Spanish film. It was long as fuck and just made no sense. Changed characters seemingly for no reason, and it was just all over the place, and I got nothing out of it. And my response would be like, that didn't make any sense. Like, what was going on? Did I miss a bunch of the front end? They're like, no, you were like 5 minutes late. I'm like, that movie, man. They're like, no, you just gotta watch it 7 times. Like, I just literally turned to the lady I had never met, and just like, go fuck yourself. And then I just went into the room and went to sleep. Like, not having that conversation with that kind of lunatic. Because that movie, at best, which I think is giving it a lot of credit, put the like art before the entertainment, which I think is, I agree that the by and large audiences expect to be entertained, and then they can be informed, or then they can be like kind of, twisted up into a ball of twine.
And there are certain ways to present stuff that are just done way better. Like, for example, because you referenced it, Parasite. Parasite has a lot of fucking hidden symbolism, but some of the biggest strokes you need are really, really apparent, even with like just based on context clues. Like the easiest one is when they're walking home in the rainstorm, and they just keep fucking going downstairs, and the surroundings keep getting worse.
Yeah,
like it's such a clear like. This is a fall
very
from grace.
Good visual storytelling.
It shows
of where we
tremendous discrepancy in income. Everything, and it's like very.
But even if you don't get the symbolism in that movie, it still works. Yeah, like I agree, the symbolism works is very obvious, and to me, I got like a lot of it first on. But I've watched a lot of videos explaining it, and it didn't make me not enjoy the movie or feel like I didn't enjoy the ride the first time. It just made me appreciate it more, which is the way it should be done, and why Parasite is one of the best movies of all time.
The one last thing, because we could gush or shithouse movies that do things too abstract or way too well, is that one thing the audience really will fixate on, I think is a good thing, is that they, I don't want to say unanimously, but very often be like, this person fucking killed it. Like, even people who were critical or didn't care for the subject content of Breaking Bad know that Bryan Cranston fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no denying that. And there's a lot of movies, like, even if they aren't the best, people will still respect, like, an actor's performance in it. Which I think is...
Yeah, nobody talks about, is it Bohemian Rhapsody? Is that the name of the movie? What was the Queen movie that came out with Rami Malek?
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Nobody watches that, critic or fan, and goes, Rami Malek did a pretty shit job. Everybody's like, Rami Malek deserved the Oscar he got for that. It is insane. Like, his performance was just the best.
Yeah. And that is one thing. I don't know that... I wouldn't necessarily say that critics overlook it, but it is one thing that audiences do kind of fixate on. It's like, wow,
this is the good side of the Stan coin. Yes. And this is why people will flock to movies, is because like that person-to-person relationship that they are kind of connecting with a piece of celluloid.
Yeah, but they do... It is absolutely a place where credit is given, and audiences will outpour like appreciation for people when they just like absolutely knock it out of the park.
Absolutely. Yeah. We are very good as a society at celebrating the best, and like seeing that in acting, and it is really cool.
Yeah. I think it is I think maybe we go a little too hard on it, but that is a very, very different topic. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
We are going to swap sides of the coin. We're going to talk about critics. And we're going to start where they get it wrong.
Those morons.
Fucking idiots.
We're going to tell them why we're smarter and they should listen to us.
Yeah, exactly. Tell them why should do their job for them.
Listen up, class.
Critics they have the fucking high school English problem. And that is the fucking symbolism jerk off. Thank you, my co-host. Fucking took a second. I was like, what is he doing? Oh, I get it. Critics fucking jizz their pants for symbolism.
Yeah. I think it is like the thing to do with that looking down the nose aspect. That kind of like, I saw this and you're welcome, or you didn't get it, and that's why I'm the best. And
it absolutely leans into like them looking for symbolism and kind of hidden meaning. Oftentimes, fucking overshadows so much stuff.
Yep.
Like and makes it willing to forgive so many kind of like places where things are just boring or other kind of deficiencies. Like they will often get fixated on hidden meanings and the real meaning of whatever the fuck. Like, shut up, stop.
Yeah. So
like, a cigar is sometimes just a cigar.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely one of those things. If you end up in the wrong film class or too many of the American English like lit classes, you'll end up hearing in like, you know, lectures or in response to any writing or, you know, film you watch. The perfect example is this comes from a great episode that I don't think is like really that findable anymore, sadly, of the Cracked podcast where they had Dana Gould, who helped, was a writer on The Simpsons, is a stand-up comedian, was a writer on Parks and Rec. I believe he created the, is that show, Stand Against Evil? I think he was the guy that created that. And he was talking about a film class he took a million years ago at like whatever university he went to. I know he didn't go to Harvard. He's like one of the few like non-Ivy Leaguers on like the Simpsons writing cast, which is also, if you want to just feel stupid or like understand that stupid jokes come from smart people, just look up the accolade, like the education accolades that the Simpsons writing cast has, because it's staggering.
Bonkers.
It's smarter than Congress. It's fucking dumb. Like that's so insane.
That's not a high bar.
Oh, I mean, like on paper, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway,
okay.
Also, it's Simpsons. It's not something you'd expect when like a lot of their jokes are
Homer did something stupid. Yeah.
No. But he's in this writing class and they're watching the original King Kong. And they they capture King Kong, they bring him back, he wrecks up New York City, and before climbing up the Empire State Building, he wrecks the L train, which is like one of the bigger trains in New York City. And the Dana Gould's listening to this, and they're talking about, why he did this. He goes, yeah, there was an iron workers strike, and this is to showcase the blah, 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 blah of the working man. And he's like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And then, like, years later, he's watching, like, a Blu-ray of it, and they had a voice commentary by either the writer, director, or somebody that, like, knew about this. And he goes, yeah, the reason... They're like, wow, why'd you wreck the L train? Like, that wasn't in the script, or that wasn't in the initial, King Kong story or whatever. And he goes, yeah, I used to live in an apartment similar to this one that's on the screen, right by the L train. And as I was writing King Kong, it would constantly go by and wake me up at 4 a.m. I was like, I swear to God, if I ever make this fucking movie, this ape is going to destroy this fucking shit-ass train. It was just, like, cathartic. Like, go fuck yourself, L train, you son of a bitch. And it was like, that's all it was. Like, there's plenty of art like that. I remember I bought a shirt in, it was a great shirt. I don't want to consider, like, just hand-drawn art a lesser thing than storytelling. It is usually a little bit less complex, not always, but look at MC Escher. But I was talking to this artist at a con, and he had a shirt with like a Godzilla-esque caricature wrecking Cincinnati, and it said Cincinnati under it. I was like, don't you mean like New York, or like, is it supposed to King Kong? Like, why does it say Cincinnati? He goes, oh, I got banned from Cincinnati for like making this piece of art, and I was like, fine, fuck you, and so I made the shirt. That's it. That's all the meaning it is. Go fuck yourself, Cincinnati. I'm gonna make a shirt where my monster destroys your town, and I'm gonna make money off of it. That's it.
Excellent.
Sometimes we're not that complicated. Sometimes it is just, a cup
like,
is a cup.
If you've ever fucking been in a high school English class that they talk about,
here it comes.
give me my fucking harpoon, AF. Moby Dick. Yeah, like it's the Pequod is just a boat for everyone who has never read it and will continue living their life without reading it. Don't. It's analogous for the planet and the mix of races and peoples and fuck you. The whale represents chasing your hopes and dreams, and shut the fuck up. No, Captain Ahab had fucking schizophrenia. He was crazy. Stop talking. Like, if you go looking for something, you can find something.
Yeah.
However, you should not be doing that as a primary goal.
Yeah. Again, C column A, movies need to be entertaining.
Yes.
They don't need to be like, a movie is better when it has symbolism, I think. I don't think all the people think that.
It can be tremendously additive. It can add a layer. It can be a layer of appreciation. Like, it can bring a layer of appreciation that comes after the fact. It gives it more longevity. It's like Jordan Peele is really, really good at that.
Yeah.
I would argue that Nope maybe gets a little too up his own ass about it, but like Get Out especially killed it. There's so much great symbolism in there, very deliberately, but it works irrespective of said symbolism, because I fucking didn't get most of it, because I'm an ignorant fucking white guy. It's still a great movie.
Yeah. So I'm gonna actually look up real quick. There is a video of Jordan Peele going over fan theories, and I'll link this in the thing. But he's going over this, and some of it they got right. Of like, they saw the minutia, they saw the symbolism. He goes, "Yeah, that's like what we're going for." And there's others where people go way out to lunch,
wild, yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, like, it's like clearly like, no, I did not, or I'm not that big brain." He's like, "I'm glad you thought of that or it inspired you to think that, but like, that isn't, what I did."
That's not it. Sure.
Yeah.
Moving along. Critics are fucking nitpicky.
What?
I know. Oftentimes there are a lot of movies that have like issues or like some lazy writing, and like, I feel like every movie is probably victim of at least a little bit of lazy writing or a little bit of idiot plot happening. I feel like there are very few that don't have some guilt somewhere in this department.
There's this great quote by I think it's by the art. I'm not gonna look at her videos are huge. If you want somebody to break down a movie and spend God knows how long talking beautifully about it, look up Lady Nightbrave on YouTube. She's amazing. Her videos are long as fuck. So if you've got a long time to watch it, like, because it's not only like ours is a audio medium and hers is predominantly an audio medium, but there is a lot of like visual, like she makes edits very good videos for him. Yes. But she had one where she was talking about Sense8, and one of the things she brought up is that there are a lot of plot holes, but the point of the show isn't to be like so thoroughly like, perfect. So she came up with this thing with like, we don't worry about those things on Wednesday, or it's Tuesday, don't worry about it. Like, if that was the kind of like go away, it's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes it is just, it's Tuesday, don't worry about it. Like, if that wasn't the case, you couldn't have basically any horror movie. Almost every single horror movie, you need to suspend. It's suspension of disbelief is basically what you're talking about, right?
Often, yes.
Yeah.
And there are just certain times where, like, if let's say 5% of the movie is predicated on a stupid stupid decision a character makes, but the rest of it like falls into place really, really well. It's beautiful. It's got great acting, great dialogue, great action, great whatever the fuck. But like, there's too often where that is disregarded, and instead there is a tremendous fixation on the one thing that was wrong instead of the 15 things that were right. There is a kind of disproportionate view and
they're not grading
focus.
it equally. They're not, they're not looking at 20 things.
Hyperweight the one thing that's like clearly wrong.
Yeah, it's if you got a paper graded this way in a class where you got 19 right and 1 wrong, and they gave you a 60%, you'd be like, the fuck, this wasn't the essay portion. Why am I getting docked so hard? This is all multiple choice. It's like, this one you got so wrong. It's like, I just circled a box that you didn't like. It wasn't the right box. I'm sorry. I got the other 19 right. 60%. Fail. Do it again. Like,
Yeah, it's just, it's oftentimes too much on one thing.
Yeah.
The other thing that seems to be overlooked by critics is that they, tying it back to the movies need to be entertaining, often go in, as I mentioned, with a fucking notepad. Like, they're there to do homework, and it seems that they forget how to view a movie as a fucking casual viewer and appreciate it as a source of entertainment. Like,
they do
too
this
often,
too
often it feels like they're going for the like an art connoisseur to a museum.
Yeah, they brought they brought a cross, hammer, and nails, and they were fucking ready to give it the business before they watched frame one. You see this a lot, I've noticed, with action movies and comedies. They're like, this one, the story.
You can add horror to the list on this.
Horror, yeah. I don't watch them, so I don't know how good or bad they are. But totally believe that. Definitely the kind of redhead stepchildren of the the medium as far as critics are concerned, and they will go into these things that are meant to literally just. I don't want to say schlocky because not all of them are, and I think that is kind of rude to say that about an art form. Sure. But the way and the reason these things were made, like we were talking about earlier, at least I was talking about earlier, is that it's just like people just want to be entertained. Action movies don't, we've said this multiple times, action movies, comedy movies, their plot is very much secondary. The whole point of it is to wow you, make you laugh. Horrors to scare the shit out of you. The story didn't make sense. It didn't have it didn't have the best conclusion. Yeah, that's not why it was there. The whole point of this thing wasn't for that. It was for something else. It's all spectacle. And I understand why the Martin Scorsese of the world kind of go hard against the Marvels of the world. That makes sense to me. But that's because they're looking at it they're getting a little boomery and be like, well, the way it used to be. But they're also looking at I think I look at the way they're talking about that more as like opportunity availability with money, and also just kind of the form becoming very formulaic and also very like repetitive to a fault.
Yeah. I do think that is an argument, and there is, but I feel that kind of divulges away from this or diverts away from this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does
to be continued.
Yeah, maybe another day. But I think we can agree that too often it feels that critics go in not there to watch a movie; they're there to do damage.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just coming in, just like loading up a crossbow in the back, just like
just casually like tapping the gun on their lap, like move, I dare you.
Very much is. They didn't come in giving it a chance. They didn't come in with the idea of even looking at it from
there was a review, I think, and it may have just been an entirely joke, but I feel it's kind of emblematic of this. And it was a review for Toy Story 3. And the whole review was, I went in looking for anything to go wrong. Damn it, they didn't mess up. That's the whole review.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I mean, I kind of get it. It was like Pixar in its fucking heyday where they could not miss. Yeah. So I sort of get it, but still, like,
yeah, just the idea of being like...
I'm walking and looking for fault. I'm walking and looking for something good.
Exactly.
You're predicated to look for the negative. Anyway, however, there are certain things that we can agree critics will absolutely do right. They're not completely, just wasteful parasites, because they are good at calling out plot holes and incongruencies and keeping people to task for storytelling, because that is important.
This is the medium we're talking about, and even while occasionally they do go overboard, they like this is the yin to the yang of audiences just being like, I just wanted to see shit go boom. Critics being like, yeah, the thing went boom good, but also, we could tell the story better. Like, you do need both for the not perfection's not the right word, but for the progress of this art form. Because I do think, by and large, we are progressing it like predominantly, with gear. We are getting better and better gear, whether it be the computers that we edit on, whether it be the cameras that we record on.
Yeah.
That we are getting this art form is progressing. So I think you do need, even if you like, they're kind of taking 7 to task. I think it is in the end goal. I think this is like beneficial to have people. It's kind of like the news media to the president, right? Like one of there's this great quote by JFK. He's like, "Oh, I think the media is invaluable. I think it's the most or the news is invaluable." And like, interviewers is like, if they weren't there, like my position would be very dangerous. It would be like fraught with, bad things. They're like, do you like the news? He goes, not particularly, but I think it's important. And I think that's a very fair and important thing to remember about critics is like, it's not, you're not always in love with them, but I think as long as they're doing their job in a respectful way, even if you don't like the review they give, I think what they're doing is important. It is a reminder to the artists of like, hey, you could have done this better. I kind of, to look at it through very much, it's kind of, in a way, it's doing the role of an editor for your next project before you've even thought of it.
Yeah. Kind of in the same vein, I think another thing that critics do well, and it basically have the balls to say it, is like pointing out where characters go wrong and making that kind of high demand for authenticity or continuity. Like, and not just kind of letting you get away with, well, they're doing this so the story can happen. Like, and that's why I think using Arcane as an example, one of the reasons that show holds up so well, beyond just the visuals being great, but also because like they do such a good job with character motivation that you at no point feel like, if you go back and rewatch or rethink through stuff, you don't feel detached or pulled out and go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. Every character is three-dimensional. Every character makes decisions based upon who they are, they're not making a decision to forward the plot, they're making a decision because that's what their character would do.
Yes.
And then the plot is forwarded because of that, not for that reason, which is a very difficult thing to do, but when you do it right, it is just that is perfect storytelling. Because every great story, I think, by and large, outside, there are some, ones that are outside of this, but by and large, every great story is just a character study that you're just watching unfold in a circumstance.
Sure. And it is one of those things where too often people are willing to just shrug and let characters do what they're going to do and just kind of go, well, I'm just here for the ride. It's like, yeah, but it can't get better if no one says, stop. Don't do that. Do this instead.
Yeah, I think this could have been done better this way. I think this is, like this doesn't make as much sense. This is like definitely it's not only for letting the audience know what to expect or, what the, critics' thoughts on it were, but I think also it is so that, the artist knows like, hey, I think you can do better. Hey, I think this would have been better if, hey, I didn't think this worked. And I think it is like, while you can't change it, and that is a bummer, I think it is like good notes for the creator in a way. Yeah. Albeit hard to swallow.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it can be delivered as destructive or as constructive, but I mean that's again kind of a different topic. And I think the last big service that critics can often bring to the table is an appreciation for that subtlety.
This is the good version of symbolism.
Yeah. Now, and like, oh, hey, I recognize it. Or appreciating like really good cinematography, and pointing out and giving a respectful nod and a thumbs up to like, hey, like for example, like how how David Fincher frames, or how
There's
Parasite has so much symbolism hidden in even like, for fuck's sake, even the rock that he uses to bash the kid's head in, like how that has appropriate symbolism attached to it.
Yeah.
And you know, giving effectively a big seal of approval to the creator and saying, I see the work you put into this.
Yeah. There's this great one done by Thomas Flight, who I'd highly recommend, talking about, I'm linking it. He looked at the lines that you don't notice that are there in Parasite that separate the rich from the poor, that separate the two families.
Yeah.
And it is so fucking genius. One, see the movie, but then watch this video, because it's one of those, the movie operated this perfect way. It was so gorgeous. The story's so tremendous. And then the more you learn about it, the more you're just like, holy crap, this is what a masterpiece is. One that works on both the levels of just initial viewing of like, damn, this story, these characters, and then just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's just art all the way down. Holy fucking shit.
Always has been.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, there's and that is, and it is very much the critic's job to look for that. And I feel that too often the problem is they go in looking for the bad and expecting the bad, that oftentimes the good is not appropriately called out and recognized.
And this is going to be a bit of a, call out on our culture, but I think it's just because, saying, people don't remember when you said, I love you. People remember when I say, I hate you.
Hate you. Yep.
Yeah. Negativity and vitriol resonates more in our minds. It sells more books. It gets more eyes. And so to be negative, to be hateful, to be critical, overtly so, is one of those things that stands out. So that's why you see people when they talk, and like why just like this uppage in language when talking about something negatively. It's like, I'd love to take this fucking movie and smear my shit all over it and throw it at the director's house. Like, you see those kinds of things because like it gets more eyeballs, it gets more attention, it sticks in your mind more. And that's the same reason why it's like they go in, sadly, because it is just somewhere between a sign of the times and like, man's gonna make some fucking money.
Yeah, like, and there's also a certain amount of like authenticity to outrage that I can appreciate, but at the same time, it's like there is shit that is wildly unprofessional that people will say, and condemnation that is given out in vastly disproportionate quantities for what it deserves. And again, I think exacerbated by people overemphasizing the wrong things. Like, I remember seeing like a review of The Raid where someone complained about like it's a very simple plot. I was like, well, no shit. Like, it didn't promise to be anything more. Yeah. Why are you expecting more?
It delivered on everything it did. Yeah. It did have some, like, it does have a decent story. It doesn't ever, go against itself.
Yeah, simplicity does not equal bad. That's my other critic nitpick. Simplicity is not a bad thing.
There's like, this great line about, in the same kind of thing, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Ernest Hemingway is talking about small words. Oh, here it is. Hold on. So, Faulkner wrote, like, when interviewed, wrote some quip about how Ernest Hemingway's not good because he doesn't use big words, basically.
Sure.
And Ernest Hemingway's response is, poor Faulkner. Does he really think big emotions come from big words? He thinks I don't know the $10 words. I know them all right. But there are older and simpler and better words, and those are the ones I use. It's like, at the end of the day, like that, I mean, that's kind of what, like, we're talking about with The Raid. It's like, yeah, it's a simple story. It's also a damn good one. Just because it's not complex doesn't mean it can't, like, tug at the heartstrings or move you. Yeah. There's that, like, somebody, like, I don't know if it was Stephen King, but somebody was like, try writing a horror movie or a sad story in, like, a sentence. They're like, baby shoes for sale, unused.
Yeah.
This is like, If you think about it, that's horrifying.
That is.
There is a very bad thing that happened there, and that is a sentence.
That's heavy. Yeah, that's one sentence.
It's like, it's a sentence. And I was like, it doesn't have to be, 90,000 pages. You don't have to have, is it with is it the Iliad or not the Iliad? What is it?
Atlas Shrugged.
Is it Atlas Shrugged where there's like a bajillion pages that is just like nothing?
I mean, it is a 930-page book of.
There's one that like starts off with like a 30-page monologue. Is that Atlas Shrugged?
No. It doesn't start. But that is Atlas Shrugged. That is when John and Galt comes in. He is a 30-page monologue.
It's like,
what's the fucking word count on Atlas Shrugged?
Something untenable.
Atlas Shrugged. It's 562,000 words. Eat a fucking dick. It's like the Bible.
Except without as much torture porn.
Lord have fucking mercy.
Well, now that we've gone over the way audiences and critics review movies, do you want to review a movie ourselves, my Ambroski?
Can give it a little taparoo.
Perhaps we should do everything to this movie.
Everywhere.
Just give it our all. This one time. If you guys can't pick up on the hidden symbolism there.
He has been raving about it, telling me to watch it forever, and I finally saw everything, everywhere, all at once.
Was it everything you wanted?
I went in completely blind. I hadn't seen a fucking trailer. I didn't know shit about it.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know it existed until you told me about it. So,
you're better friends.
Actually, funny thing is my buddy Pops told me about it last night, and then we saw it like on AMC or some streaming service. I was like, let's watch that. Absolutely fucking outstanding. It is bonkers.
With a capital B.
Well, fucking capital B and 7 exclamation points. It is
with a capital B for butt plugs.
It is absolutely. It is both somehow one of the most serious and somber movies I've watched in a long time, and the most bombastic, brazen, irreverent things ever.
It's
bananas.
It's the best. It's just so good.
It has one of the best messages in a movie I think I've seen. Where just like empathy is so important and not always valued highly enough.
Yeah.
And like the power of like you don't just there is something to be said for being hard, but there is also something to be said for being soft, and there is a power in being soft and being kind that is often overlooked.
I don't know where it is, but somebody made a video. If I find it, I'll put it in. It might have been Thomas Flyatt, but somebody did a video talking about who the true hero is, because we always assume that the main character is the hero of the movie, and this is one of those ones where that's actually not true. Because the hero of a movie, there's a difference between the hero and the protagonist. The protagonist is the character you follow, so that's Michelle Yeoh's character. She is the protagonist. But the hero of the movie, the one that saves the day, is actually arguably Waymond.
Yeah.
And the really cool thing is he's the only static character in the film, which is wild. Because that's almost always, like, if you look at the hero's journey, in the hero's journey, the whole point of the story is that the hero leaves, faces challenges, returns to the same place, but changed. That is like, those are like the rough beats of the hero's journey. And the hero in this journey is the only one that doesn't change, because he's already figured out life, and he's just loving people until they do or don't, regardless.
Yeah.
Just fucking wild. And a hell of a message to tell.
Yeah. And it has, in my opinion, one of the oddest allegories for suicide. Because I'm like 99% sure that's what that is. I'll pretty confidently stamp that.
But again, like we were talking about earlier, if it isn't, it doesn't matter.
Either way, it's a clear clear message of like despair and despondency and how it seems to suck up everything, and make everything worse if you let it take over, and that really the only way out is kind of kindness and empathy, and that being hard and hostile and it might make you strong.
Yeah, you might be able to weather it,
but it doesn't make you feel better.
Yeah,
like that's the main point. Is like the antagonist has all the power of the universe and can be everywhere and do everything all at once. But she still feels so marvelously alone. It's completely accidental, actually. But she still feels so alone.
Then she becomes a rock with googly eyes.
Yeah, like it has some of the most bizarre fucking symbolism. It's got a rock with googly eyes chasing another rock slowly across. It's just like, what am I fucking watching?
Also, that's like perfect showcasing of entertainment, where literally there is minutes where it's two rocks talking silently to each other next to a cliff. Nothing's happening.
They're like texting. Like you're basically watching a texting conversation between two rocks.
Two rocks.
It's amazing.
It's so great. And then they just like quasi chase each other in the most adorable shimmy sham
slow
ever.
Shuffle.
Just shh. No, stop following me. Shh.
You're not supposed to move.
It's so great.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous. Like at one point there's a fucking someone bitch slap like, but this is not the same movie. Tremendous allegory about empathy and depression. It's also the same movie where someone bitch slaps somebody with a dildo and makes them explode into glitter. Like
there's a love soap opera with hot dog fingers, There's a fight involving butt plugged Super Saiyan power-ups. Yeah, same movie.
Same movie.
Get on it!
Raccacoonie instead of Ratatouille.
Raccacoonie.
Like it's fucking bonkers. I can't imagine watching this on drugs. It
feels like you're on drugs when you watch it the first time.
Even stone sober, just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it is a trip and a half.
It is absolutely bonkers. Like, again, capital B, 8 exclamation points, bonkers. Fucking fantastic.
Could not recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, it's just
like this is how I knew it was a great movie, because I am so up my own asshole way too much when I watch movies that I always be like, I could have done that better. After the movie's over, the only thing I had to say in the negative column was like, I would have tweaked 2 lines of dialogue by like a word, and it doesn't change them. It's just like, I think it would have sounded better. That's the notes I had.
I mean, even the one thing, and I'm big on this, is like fight choreography. Nailed it.
Yeah,
like,
fucking shit, amazing.
It's crazy good. It's like it's very over the top, very dramatized, but it's not pretending to not be. For fuck's sake, the first real fight is a dude going apeshit with a fanny pack as a flexible weapon, which he fills with like rocks from a fucking aquarium to give it weight and just smashes people in an office with it. Like, if you're trying to take this super serious, you're in the wrong fucking team.
Yes.
But it's on point.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good.
It created its own lane and never deviated.
Oh yeah.
This is it is a movie unto its own. This is the Citizen Kane of this decade, I think, and I don't even think it's close. And the decade has just started.
It is
like
phenomenal.
If there's a movie better than this one by the time we get to 2030, I'll eat a hat. I don't know. Like it's not gonna. This movie is so much better than anything else.
It has no business being this good.
It has no business being this good in so many.
And it's
like,
so good.
I love Parasite is great, but it is clearly there's people that didn't get it. That's not for them. It's slow moving. The action is kind of It's got subtitles. Got it. I understand that. Those are fair criticisms. I don't see them as being problems, but I understand people that do. Yeah. I cannot imagine a person that doesn't watch this movie and go, like, stand up, standing ovation, take a bow. Movie is creme de la. Like,
for no other reason, it has an emotional message that is so easy to resonate with.
Yeah. Has a strong emotional message, has a strong visual presence, has hilarious hijinks. It does it all. It really is just like like the perfect Swiss Army knife of a movie. It really
Yeah.
does it all. It's fucking insane.
Yeah. All right, we can continue to jerk this movie off for about an hour. We're not going to. We've been talking for a while. Stop it! Stop it! Put it away! Put it away!
Okay.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
After these messages.
Do you enjoy glorifying serial killers and worshiping crime in all its forms? What? No, of course not. But do you? Don't worry. You're not alone. There are tons of people who get a thrill hearing about the horrible, wacky, and sadistic things that the worst of us will do to one another. And thanks to the forced incarceration of the world during COVID, the desire for true crime documentaries has only ballooned into a social phenomenon rivaled only by the MCU. And whether you want to look at crimes gone wrong, bank robberies gone sideways, or just some of the truly awful and twisted and sadistic things from the minds of Ted Bundy and the like, you can be sure that you'll find someone to narrate it at you in a pace that is just too slow for normal conversation. What are you waiting for? Find your correct criminal today. And welcome back, everybody.
Hello!
My overly enthusiastic co-host. Be sick or something. Chill out.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So... Really? Really?
Said be sicker, I don't know.
Alright. Oh, I'm gonna kill the mood a little bit. With my what I've been working on this week, or writing a little bit.
Mm.
Coming down. So I used to work with a lot of homeless people who did a lot of drugs.
And they wouldn't share, the bastards.
Pricks. Actually, they would share probably if I asked. I don't know. There's a weird sense of community, and some people are really nice about handing out drugs. I've never watched a dude walk around a fucking parking lot and just ask for weed and get it so quickly. It's kind of impressive. Anyway, never mind. They weren't supposed to have that, but that's a completely different topic. But anyone who's had to deal with people who are on a lot of meth, yeah. Well, looking at you, Florida man. They know that coming down is ugly. And my thought was a short story of a guy who gets in an immense car wreck because he started coming down and just ran into someone's house. And now that he has come to and is sober, he has to come to grips with the fact that he just ran someone over because they were up at the middle of the night getting something out of their kitchen, and he drove his car into their house.
Fun.
Super dark. And all of the emotional baggage and perception that would come with it because he made an enormous mistake. And even as apologetic as he is, it doesn't make things go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
There is no pressing rewind. There is no pressing undo. It happened. And he has to live with the fact that he had to come down.
Well,
probably ends with him going to prison.
Yeah.
Probably.
It is a very interesting idea of self-betterment and, like, self-sabotage, though. That is a very deep well to draw from that a lot of people will understand or, feel moved by. That's amazing.
Please pick something happier. What do you got going on?
Sorta?
Shit.
So I had this idea this last week of how a lot of horror movies, they start off sweet and then they get bad, right? You've got a lot of ones are based in Christmas where everybody's having fun and then bad things happen, or it's Halloween, everybody's merry, joking around, and then death. Stuff like that. There's usually you start off pretty high so that you can go real low.
Yeah.
Or really dark. So I was thinking, like, what if you made a double feature, old school style? You have an hour-and-a-half movie, intermission hour-and-a-half movie. The first movie is traditional Thanksgiving setup. new girl or coming home for, Thanksgiving. It's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And there's somebody's, you do have the one antagonist. He's the dickhead boyfriend who just like won't shut up, is being an asshole, causing all the trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And then the movie culminates with him getting kicked out of the house and told to go fuck himself finally.
Naturally.
And, the one parent figure that was backing him stands up to him and, draws the line, kicks him out, and they have a happy Thanksgiving. And he,
Sure.
Goes off, and who cares? Then you have the intermission. During the intermission, right before it starts back up, you have, if you feel good about this movie, if you feel great, if you are happy right now, go home. Because then the second part happens, and the family just starts getting axed. You've set them up. You've had this hour and a half lead up of fun time, and then
just fucking murder.
Bloody Sunday. And, to the surprise of no one, the murderer is most likely going to be like the douchey boyfriend that gets kicked out, gets high on PCP, and just wreaks havoc on the family or something. I don't fucking. It's schlocky good murdering times, but just the idea of like adjoining the two of what the usual one starts off with as the ending of the other one is kind of a fun idea to me.
Just keep repeating to yourself, it's only a movie. It's only a movie.
Speaking of only a movie, what is only a movie you just watched the other day?
I recently watched or caught up on the Spider-Man with or the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and the most recent one I watched was No Way Home, which I think it probably was as good as everyone kind of said it was. It was really fun.
Fans got it right.
Yeah. Minus the kind of rising action, which is kind of stupid. Because it's just because Doctor Strange is impatient, I guess. Which sort of triggers this whole fucking mess. But looking past that, it's a shitload of fun. It's really fun watching like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire be kind of like fish out of water.
Yeah.
It is a fucking treat to see Willem Dafoe being Goblin again, because holy shit, Hitman is intimidating.
Also, you get to have I don't remember his name is Doc Ock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. His name, it's like
Doc.
Anthony something or other, or
I don't remember.
no way. Oh, let me see if I can find this. Alfred Molina.
Yeah, him as Doc Ock again.
Yeah,
is great. Yeah, it was just a lot of it was a lot of fun. It was great. A lot of great action sequences. Honestly, like I do love how I think every Spider-Man iteration has had very good action. The agile, nimbledy-bimbledy flying around shit. And it's more of that. Like, what you're getting into. But it's still a lot of fun. And it's got some very good kind of emotional, heavy moments. A little bit, it's got an occasional moment of head-scratching wizard fuckery. But,
it's okay, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. But yeah, I think it was really good overall. Like very, very worth watching. If you were at all inclined to like Spider-Man and you like the Tom Holland version of Spider-Man, you'll like this. It's great. What about you?
On the less happy-go-lucky side of things, I was reminded, incidentally, by my co-host of this movie called Minding the Gap, which is a fantastic American documentary put out by Bing, made and starring, as much as a documentary can, Bing Liu, who's an up-and-coming filmmaker, and it's this documentary about this skate scene, or this little skate group in Illinois. Like, I don't think it's Chicago, or if it is, it's a suburb. And more kind of focuses on their childhood, how they bonded together, and how sadly abuse kind of happens. That is like a very much part of this. Two of the guys were, abused by their fathers. Just like that was the way their dads decided to discipline them, was just like beating the shit out of them. And it is really tragic and hard to hear, but it's a kind of beautiful story because it's showing how people are getting better and are dealing with each other and moving on. It's definitely not for the faint of heart, but it definitely has a happy's not quite the right word, wholesome ending. I think it really goes places and has a very, for being a documentary, has a very strong storyline that I would recommend. For those that have suffered, I think it might have moments of triggering, but I think also it very much comes full circle, and there's a lot to be taught and kind of learned and appreciate about this, even for those who have struggled through such hard times. So if you're willing to kind of look inward and have a moment and probably cry a little bit, I would definitely recommend Minding the Gap, which ends conveniently with I believe my co-host's song pick of the day.
I do. I think it does. I've never seen it, but
It ends
I've heard
with the song.
Okay, good. It's also the song showed up in a few other things I've watched, like Daybreakers. But I had a fairly shit last handful of weeks. And the song This Year by the Mountain Goats has been kind of my anthem for just like, fuck it. There's a fucking end date. I'm getting through it.
We're gonna fucking get through this.
Yeah, the chorus refrain is, I'm gonna make it through this year if it kills me.
Even if it kills me.
It's like, yep. So I'm listening to this every morning, often on the way to work, often on the way home from work, where I can sing it very, very loud.
I think I listened to it my last day of going into work this other week. I think it was in my like kind of pick me up playlist.
Yeah.
It was just like, even if it kills me, it's like ah.
What about you? Do you have a musical recommendation?
Yes, very much so. It's a rarity for me, as it is all instrumental. It's called "Playing God" by Polyphia, Polyphia. It is all instrumental, and it is a blast. It is just so much fun. It's got good energy to it, ups and downs, all arounds. It's a in a different way. It pairs well with This Year by the Mountain Goats, in that, you know, if you need an anthem, if you need some energy, if you need some gusto, I think it delivers. And if you don't, it's still just a banger. So highly recommend Playing God by Polyphia.
All right. And that is going to be our episode. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And if you enjoyed it, please feel free to
like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
But don't forget, new episodes of Super Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month.
Bye. What the fuck happened there?